Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of BTV. My name is Ruth.
And I'm Tony. Lines for the bathroom are getting insane.
I know, I was almost late to class because of it.
Let's talk about it. Lunch is always a busy time for anyone outside of class. One of the most packed places is always the bathrooms, but they don't have to be. While it's understandable to want to speak to your friends while they wash their hands or change clothes in the stall, this can be done with less confusion. Please remember to stay away from the sinks and stalls if you are not in line or planning to use them. Not only will this prevent confusion and get people to leave earlier, but it can also prevent your conversations from being interrupted. When nobody needs you to move, they won't ask you to.
When students' grades start going down, it could be a multitude of problems, like talking too much in class or just turning in the assignment without putting anything on it. But the main thing is sleeping during class. A lot of students head to school without much sleep. Now, it could be their fault, but we don't know what happened to make them lose sleep. Not turning in work is unacceptable, but teachers could be a little bit more lenient towards people that are struggling to do work in their class. Make time to sleep in class.
That's sad people struggle like this.
It is, but luckily there is a class teaching people about how to save lives called EMS.
Let's learn more about it.
The school year is coming to a close end, and in case you haven't picked all your elective classes for next year, you can consider EMS. The Emergency Medical Service Program prepares students to address, recognize, and execute many different medical emergencies hands-on. An important factor that can help students understand the general idea of the human body and other drills that are performed in EMS is a good instructor.
I just tell students that it's a team sport, greatest team sport on the planet. So you practice, you learn the tools, you learn about emergency medicine, and you work with your partners. And it's a team event, and under those circumstances, it's very, very doable. There's a lot of doors that open. And even with my program, if you're not sure, you're just thinking about it, you can ride along on ambulances with real paramedics to real EMS calls. All you got to do is be 16 years old, be in my program. We have waivers filled out, and the fire chief of both fire departments, both the Fry Fire District and the Sierra Vista Fire and Medical Services, both chiefs are very supportive of that and love to see you come right along and see if it's for you.
This program will help students with confidence and knowledge to help people in public that are in need of medical help. The skills to help someone are critical in assessing a patient, especially dealing with traumatic life threats. Students learn all of these with EMT training.
I think the most interesting thing about the EMS program is the hands-on stuff, especially when we get to work with other students as patients. I think that's very interesting.
I agree. I like the videos we watch too because they're very descriptive and they show us what we're getting into if we decide to go into EMS.
I think so. I think it'd be cool to save someone's life if it really came down to it.
I'd probably say yes because there's a lot of better things that come with it too, and it could definitely help you out.
There are many benefits for being in the EMS program. You learn about many things that can save people's lives, from having a cut on your finger to needing to give someone CPR if they need it. Students can become real-life heroes in the right situations. If you're still stuck on what classes you want to choose for next year, be sure to check out the Emergency Medical Services, and there you can train to save.
EMS seems fun. I might take it next year.
I'm more interested in joining choir. As the end of the year rolls around, choir opportunities open up. Students who are interested in joining choir for the 2024 to 2025 school year have the chance to audition. Students must email the choir teacher, Mrs. Golding, to schedule an audition. Incoming freshmen already in choir have been reached out to, and according to Mrs. Golding, a few have already auditioned. She also has plans to send a few high schoolers to JCMS to talk about the choir opportunities here at Buena.
Prom is soon. Some people know people that don't go to Buena, and they'd like to see them there. In order to have made that happen, you would have had to go down to 1104 to get a guest form from Miss Walker. Get the guest form and their school to sign it. Then you would have had to turn it into the principal's office. Once it's signed, you would have bought the tickets from Miss Walker in room 1104.
Let's go to Francisco with the sports.
Hey, what's up? It's your sports anchor, Francisco, bringing you the news for sports. The Buenos girls tennis team held a game on March 26th. They picked up their first win since the season started against Troya, the score being 7-2. Their next game is against Nogales, which is today. We wish you luck, Colts.
You know how you're almost late due to the bathroom lines?
Yeah?
Well, the hall traffic is also insane. Some people always seem to be annoyed.
I understand your situation.
If you're roaming in the hallway, please don't push people or act surprised when you get bumped into, even though you're staying still and blocking the way. People are trying to get to class, and it's disrespectful to those who want to be on time. It is important to watch your surroundings, especially when you're a taller individual who can often miss people below them. Please do not forget that everyone is different and that it is important to be polite in the hallways to create a safe and peaceful environment. Always remember, you're not the only individual during the passing period, and do not act entitled enough to point you disregard how you treat other people in the halls.
That is very true.
It is.
This year there was a new position called Dean of Students that was just made. Coach Thomas stepped up and filled the role, and we thought we'd talk to him about his new position.
First, it was started off with us doing disciplinary actions like level 1 through 3 stuff. Basically, tardies, defiance, things like that. So basically what we do, in the mornings we're out, we monitor the student parking lot, right, just to make sure that everything's flowing out there smoothly. We run tardy reports. We handle the different level. We handle a lot of the referrals that come in. So if there's tardies, if there's disrespect, defiance, all those things, and then we process those. We do investigative work. If there was, if we get a complaint about something, so students can write statements on things that happen or things they want to make, complaints about. So we do investigative work on that, and then we turn it over to the administration. We run lunch detention. We cover A2S for Miss Blackshire. We do Student of the Month. So we get all that stuff ready. Staff appreciation. Whether we walk kids to the buses, we do afternoon duty, going to the buses. So there's just a lot of different tasks that we do. We're involved. We're the LEA, so basically the district representatives for any of the IEP meetings. So we have to go to those also, and then we also help at extracurricular activities after school. What having us handle a lot of those referrals that normally the administrators had to handle before, it allows the admin to be out in the classroom and be out a little bit more. So, while we're in our office handling referrals and, getting the statements and, contacting parents, logging that type of stuff, that allows the assistant principals and the principal to be out in the classrooms, doing their evaluations, just being out and being noticed in the school, which is a big thing. So I think having the deans here allows them to do that. So, and if the deans weren't here, then they would be in their offices and they wouldn't be allowed to be out as much. So I think that we'll be back. Just understanding that, whatever the expectation is, the school policies, the expectation, just as long as you're following those, then that's less likely that you're going to be in the dean's office. If there's ever any questions, concerns about anything, feel free, you can reach out to us and, we can talk to you about anything. If we don't have the answer, we'll get it for you. But just making sure you're following the school procedures, the school policies. If you're in your classroom, if your teacher has a no cell phone policy, just follow that policy. So a lot of it is when students aren't following the policy, then it's our job to hold them accountable. And most of them respect that. I think a lot of kids like being held accountable. Some don't, but just make sure you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. Remember, although we do want you guys to be able to socialize and enjoy that aspect of it, you're here to learn first, and making sure you're taking care of your business in the classroom, and you'll have a good experience in high school. So we're here to support you guys We're not against you guys. That's why if a kid comes in, we take your statement also because we want you to be heard also. So let's just make it an enjoyable experience for everybody involved, and it starts with the students. So thanks for all you do.
I have a cool outfit I want to wear to school, but I don't know if I'll get in trouble for it.
Have you checked the dress code?
The dress code?
Yes, the dress code. An issue that some students go through is dress code. It's important to follow the student handbook. Remember, hats, hoodies, and beanies will be permitted outdoors only and may not be worn indoors. There can be no depiction of inappropriate activity, alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The shortest point of the garment will be no further than 7 inches from the bend of the knee. Spaghetti straps are not to be worn alone. Outer garments must have a strap on each shoulder. The first warning of dress code, students will be given the option to change.
Have you ever needed a Chromebook charger but couldn't find someone who had one? Some students have tried going to the Chromebook Center in room 1305 to get one. Unfortunately, the Chromebook Center is unable to lend out Chromebook chargers as they have no extra for students. If you need a replacement charger, first check with your teachers, as many lost chargers are recovered by teachers. If not, you can get one on Amazon for $10. Just make sure you get the Type-C Chromebook charger. The Chromebook Center will accept them when it comes time to turn in the Chromebooks.
Here's the report of this week's Kickball event, one of the many Prom Spirit Week activities.
Amidst the festivities of the Student Council Spirit Week leading up to prom night, excitement fills the air as students gather for a lively kickball event. It's not just about the game, it's about fostering school spirit and building anticipation for the upcoming prom celebration. But for the students on the field, it was about having fun.
It was really competitive, I'd say, like a lot of trash talking, but just fun, competitive trash talking. And it was just overall a really good time.
As the game unfolds, there's a buzz of energy on the field. Even Mr. Ingold, the Film&TV teacher, joins in on the action, adding to the lively atmosphere. Mr. Ingold is a soccer player, so students weren't completely surprised by his athleticism.
Mr. Ingold also played, and since he did soccer, it was pretty cool to watch him kind of get in that competitive side because you don't see that a lot in the classroom.
In an exhilarating finale, the game comes to a close with both teams giving it their all. And in a thrilling turn of events, it's Mr. Ingold's team that emerges victorious. It's a heartwarming reminder that in the game of life, every member of the school community plays a part, and sometimes, even the teacher gets to lead the victory charge.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of BTV. I'm Ruth.
And I'm Tony.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Good.